Hey, social media socialites. Look, we are about to go live in a few moments. But before we go live, I need all of you guys to hit that like button right now. If you're watching and you're waiting, go ahead and be a participator. Don't just be a spectator. Hit that like button. And share this. Share this on your Facebook. Share this in a private Facebook group. I want you to tag a friend. I want you to text this. Text this in a group chat. If you are watching this and you have Instagram, do a screenshot and add me on Instagram at E.DeanCole. Make sure that you add me so that I can see the support, show the support, and show the love.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We're about to go live in a few moments, so get ready.
I got
okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ask your questions below. After you ask your questions, make sure that you share this. Share this on Facebook. Share this in a group chat. Share this right now with your baby daddy, with your baby mama. Share this with your wife. Share this with somebody who you know that wants to know how to build their business credit. Share this with somebody who wants to know how they can better their lives through entrepreneurship. This channel is dedicated to economic empowerment through entrepreneurship. Share this to anybody who is interested in going and growing their business. Share this with them right now.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4.
And we are live. What's going on, social media socialites? If you are watching this for the first time and you don't know who I am, my name is E.DeanCole, and I own E.DeanCole Coaching. We are a consulting firm. We specialize in working capital, alternative finance, business credit, and business development. And this is a teaching that I said that I was going to do on how you're able to get perfect credit for 2020. So if you are watching this on the replay and you did not get the notification and you was like, Dean, I didn't know you was live. Two things. Thing number one, you've seen one of my videos before, but you did not subscribe. Or thing number two, if you did subscribe, you did not hit that notification bell. So it's very important that after you subscribe, if you do subscribe, that you hit that notification bell right there. Boom. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Now, if you are saying, well, Dean, you know what? I did subscribe. I did hit the notification bell. And you might be watching this either on the replay or you might be watching this on Facebook, and you want to make sure that you're notified whenever we do something new. Make sure that you text the word funding 101 to 813-934-1328. That is 833-934-1328. Text the word funding 101 to that number, and you will make sure that you are added to all of our events. Whenever we go live, whenever we do something new, you'll be added on. And so I am going to teach, as the title says, on how you're able to get perfect credit in 2020. So if you're watching this and you've never seen me before and you're watching for the first time, even if you're watching this on the replay, okay, I want you to make a mind-muscle connection with this content. I want you to participate with me as if you're watching live. So if you're watching this for the first time and you've never seen me before, I want you to say first time. If you are a client of mine and you're enrolled into any of my courses, I want you to say client. If you are a student of mine and you've hired me for any coaching or consulting, I want you to say student. What's going on? We got Eric LaRue is in the building. Hey, Eric, how are you doing today, my man? Make sure you hit that like button. Everybody hit that like button and hit that share button, because it looks like we're having an issue with the notifications. Not everyone is being notified. I know this is an impromptu live. I'm in the Dominican Republic, so it is it's in the middle of the day for you guys. So I'm here in the Dominican Republic. Okay, now it looks like you guys are starting to come in. There we go. Now you guys are starting to come in. All right, awesome. So I'm here in the Dominican Republic, so the time is a little different. But as you see, the sun is about to go down. Today's been a character building day. I am going to teach on how you're able to get the perfect credit score in 2020. I'm going to enjoy this cigar and I'm going to teach, all right? So if you've never seen any of my videos before, they are live lectures. Let me make sure my sound is good. It's a little different. Okay, good. Sound is good. Boom. Sound is good. Looks good. Okay. So if you've never seen any of my videos before, this is a live lecture. All right. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before on YouTube or Facebook. So this is a live lecture. Today is December the 10th. Today's December the 10th, 2019. And we're talking about how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Now, make sure you guys pay attention to the end of this video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a free resource on how you're able to have that perfect credit score. And also, we're going to talk about a lot of the new laws that are out there that are designed to help you to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Okay, so it doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden. It doesn't matter if Malcolm X rose from the dead and it was him. I'm going to teach you step by step how you're able to legally have a perfect credit score for 2020. All right, and so this, like I mentioned, is a live lecture, so it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's very interactive. I want you to participate with me. Even if you're watching on the replay, I want you to participate with me as if you're watching live. Now, this thing right here, kick. I love this Dominican cigar. Really nice Dominican cigar. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We got Blue Bird is in the building. Hey, Blue Bird, how are you doing? Jay Edwards is in the building. Hey, Jay, how are you doing? We got Eric LaRue is in the building. Hey, Eric, he's a client. How are you doing? Now, the very first thing that is important for you guys to understand is that your credit score is made up of 5 parts, all right? So right here, as you guys can see right here, right? Your credit score is made up of 5 parts. Now, a lot of people don't understand what makes your credit. They don't understand what makes your score. And I'm going to teach line upon line, precept upon precept on exactly how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. And it's by understanding and dissecting these 5 parts. Now, when I was in school, surprisingly, I actually liked algebra. All right, I liked algebra. And there is this fancy term which stands for a quantitative algorithm. You guys remember A2 times AB equals C squared and all that other stuff. And a lot of times we don't understand how that relates to your everyday life. Well, when it comes to your credit, this is how it relates, because your credit score is composed of 5 different parts. Now, let's do a temperature check. Like I said, this is interactive. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to make a mind muscle connection with me. So if you knew that your credit score was made up of 5 parts, I want you to say, knew that, 2 words, knew that. If you didn't know, I want you to say didn't know, all right? Now, for you guys that are watching me live, you guys dictate how the flow of the show goes, all right? So based on how you guys interact and what you guys talk about is based on how I'm going to teach. And remember, text the word funding 101 so that you can participate with me as if you're watching me live, all right? I need you guys to participate with me. Vashawn says, great way to end my last hour of your job. Awesome, Vashawn. I'm very glad that you can join us. Okay, so Bluebell says, knew that. Thank you so much for that. A. Jones says, knew that. Thank you so much for that. All right. Andis 901 says, didn't know. Thank you so much for that. Vashawn says, knew that. Jay Edwards says, didn't know. Okay, awesome. So we have people from different levels of financial education. So this is the reason why I teach the way that I teach. All right. So your credit score is made up of 5 different parts. All right. So it's made up of 5 different parts. Now, in order for you to understand how to have the perfect credit score, it's very important for you to understand the history of your credit, okay? There are a lot of jacklegs out there. There's a lot of people standing in their mama's basement. There's a lot of quote-unquote credit gurus that have absolutely no idea of what credit is. They've read a book, and they think that they know how credit works because they fixed their cousin credit or their baby mama's credit or their girlfriend's credit, or somebody at the hair salon came up with this cool trick and their credit score went up 50 points. But it's important for you to understand the history of credit so that you can understand how to have the perfect score, especially in 2020, because there have been some changes that are made, and I want to make sure that you guys pay attention to the end so you can understand some of those changes that have been made, because some of those tricks that used to happen back in the day, they're no longer available. They're not going to be available coming in 2020 for you to be able to do a lot of those same tricks. So it's very important for you to stay educated and for you to stay woke, okay? So let's go ahead and break this down. So the very first thing is that knowing that your credit score is comprised of 5 different parts is very important. Now let's break down a lot of the myths when it comes to your credit score. The very first thing is this: your credit was created in 1950, all right? Now, your credit score was created in 1950. I want everyone to say 1950 right now. Even if you're watching me live, I want you to say 1950. Like I said, I feed off of your energy, and this is live. And if you're watching on the replay, participate with me as if you're watching live, because the #1 best-selling book of all time says to write the vision and make it plain, so they that read it can run thereby. That also in psychology states that when you write something down, you digest it a lot better when it comes to your memory and recalling it. So when I'm asking you guys to participate and to write things down, is so that you can make a mind muscle connection and you can recall this information, so you can be consciously unconscious of what you're learning, okay? So I want everyone to say 1950. Thank you so much for participating, okay? So Audits 901 says 1950. Golden Collins says 1950. Thank you so much for that. Vashon says 1950. Thank you so much for that. Life Media Pro 1950. Great. So now this is very important for my people of color. Your the credit score was created in 1950. There is this urban myth, and there is a lot of truth to it as well, because of redlining and because of the civil rights movement, which I'm about to talk about next, where people are marginalized because of the color of their skin. Now, there's this myth that says black people, that we cannot get credit. If you've ever heard it that says that white people credit is better than black people credit, I want you to say heard it. If you've ever heard that before, I want you to say heard it. If you've never heard it before, I want you to say never have. I'm not asking if you believe it or not. I am just speaking truth to power, and I'm breaking down the history of credit, and because I'm talking about how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. And it's important for you to understand the history, so that way you won't have self-limiting beliefs when it comes to building and restoring your credit. So there is some truth to that. Let me explain. So remember, credit was created in 1950. This is very important, right? So credit was created in 1950. However, the civil rights movement did not begin until 1954. So for 4 years, the credit system had been around, it had been established, and only successful Caucasian men were the ones that had the right to utilize their credit. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know that, I want you to say OMG. And if you're feeling really, really saucy, I want you to give me 3 OMG emojis, okay? I want you to participate with me, okay? So if you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know, I want you to say OMG. And if you're feeling like you're really wanting to participate, I want to see some OMG emojis. Give me those OMG emojis, okay? So let's do a recap. Remember, credit was created in 1950, all right? Credit was created, your credit score was created in 1950, but in 1954 was when the civil rights movement began. So for 4 years, it was specifically solely set aside for Caucasian men, all right? So because of that, that's the reason why this urban myth comes about of black people's credit is worse than white people's credit, or black people, we cannot get credit. Now, I'm going to teach, and I'm going to thanks so much for D. Anderson gave me the thumbs up. Thanks so much for those thumbs up, D. So that being said, That's the reason why a lot of times people say things like, oh, well, you can't get credit or it's impossible to get credit, is because they did not understand the process of credit. They did not understand how credit worked and the rights of credit, all right? So when the civil rights movement began, that's when it began to make things equal, all right, and make things fair. Now you guys know, just because something started, like the civil rights movement went from 1954 all the way to 1958. So you guys know for those 4 years, let me make sure I'm right about that. Hold on for a second. I got the computer right in front of me. I don't want to say nothing wrong. Let me make sure I'm right about that, because you guys will hang me to the cross. Let me make sure I'm right about that. Give me a second. Let me make sure I'm right about that. It went from 1954 to 1968. Excuse me. It went from 1954 to 1968. So at the end of that time span, 1968 was when the civil rights movement ended. So that means that for all of those years while we're fighting for equality, we're not even focusing on credit. People didn't even understand, a lot of our people didn't even understand what the importance of credit was, because at that time we're just fighting for our rights as human beings. We're not even, a lot of our grandmothers and grandfathers and uncles and aunts, a lot of them, and even some of you guys that lived during that time, had absolutely no idea what the concept of credit was, because the credit score was created in 1950, but from 1954 to 1968, we were just fighting for our rights for equality. All right, watch this. Now, a lot of people did not really begin to see a lot of justice until the 70s, all right? So let me see, are there any 70s babies in the building? Let's do a temperature check. So if you are a 70s baby, I want you to say 70s baby. If you are an 80s baby, I want you to say 80s baby. If you were born in the 90s, I want you to say, what do you guys call millennials? Yeah, millennials. And I don't think anybody should be watching me from the 2000s. Maybe there might be some people that was born in 2000. There might be 18 years old, 19 years old watching me. So let's do a temperature check. So what year were you born, okay? Let me know what year you were born. Let's see. Let's go ahead and look at the demographic of our audience. What year were you guys born? All right, so D was born in 73. All right, so Finding Me says 70s baby. All right, Bluebird is an 80s baby. Hey, 80s baby, how are you doing? I'm an 80s baby as well. Kevin Morrison says 70s. Okay. Bashan is a 70s baby. Okay. Teddy, 70s. Okay, awesome. 80s baby. 80s baby is in the building. A. Jones says you're a millennial. That's good stuff, A. Jones. All right, Finding Me is 1979. Okay, Jayster is 93. All right, Light 74. Tamika is 85. 80s baby in the building. Naima 80. D. Young 84. T. Will 70. All right, Evan is 1992. A. Jones is 95. Okay, awesome. Larry is the winner with 69. Larry is the winner with 69. Larry is the winner with 69. 1969. That's what I'm talking about, Larry. This is live, guys, and I'm outside on my patio. I wanted to enjoy this cigar. Like I said, it's been a very long character building day. The sun is setting behind me, so we're going to try to hurry this up before it gets too dark. Now, the reason why I brought this into understanding is because, check this out. In 1970, the FCRA was created, okay? The FCRA was created in 1970. So remember, the credit score, so let's go ahead and do some redress. The credit score was created in 1950. So from 1950 all the way up until 1970, so for 2 decades, the credit system was run by biased, okay? Now, the FCRA was created so that they can fix a lot of the issues that the credit reporting agencies had. Now, a lot of people might not know this, but Equifax have been sued from the beginning of time. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, these are all private companies. Even though we as U.S. citizens have our, when you're born, you're born with a credit score, you're born with a social security number. However, The credit reporting agencies is a private agency. It's a private company, private corporation. It's not the government. It is regulated by the government, but it's a private company. That's very important for you to know when we're talking about how to have the perfect credit score in 2020. All of this matters, okay? You have to understand where you've been if you can understand where you're going, all right? So the thing that's very important for you to understand is that when you are in the process of restoring and building your credit, because of the Credit Repair Act of 1970, it allows you to now fix your own credit. FCRA stands for the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's very important for you to understand that this is what allows you to fix your credit when it comes to the credit bureaus. Now, there's another law that's called the FDCPA. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about specifically the FCRA, which stands for the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So up until 1970, Equifax specifically used to pay their employees bonuses for getting dirt and erroneous things to report on your credit profile. So they used to report if you were black, if you were white. They used to report if you were male or you were female. They used to report if you had another family on the other side of town. They used to report if you were a homosexual, because homosexuality at the time was considered a mental illness. They used to report if you were heterosexual or if you had illegitimate children. They used to report if you were alcoholic. These are different things that used to report under your public record, and that's why public record was created. If you guys knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know that, I want you to say OMG or give me the OMG eyes. Give me the eye emojis, okay? If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know that, I want you to give me the OMG eyes, okay? We're teaching, guys. I got to make sure that I try to keep this down to 45 minutes to an hour, but we're teaching on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020, okay? And I'm giving you guys tangible, real assets and resources so that you'll be able to maximize this information so that you can have that perfect credit for 2020, okay? All right, so a lot of you guys are giving me the OMGs. Thank you so much for that. So, all right, Stay Global gave me the OMGs. All right, so Bluebird said you had no idea. Thank you so much for chiming in, Bluebird. Okay, awesome. You said you didn't know that. Larry says OMG. Thanks so much for that. All right, Shavaslin Smith said OMG. Thank you so much for that. So, in 1970, they used to report a lot of these different things on your credit report, and these have absolutely nothing to do with your credit worthiness. Now, your credit score has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has nothing to do with your sexual proclivity. It has nothing to do with your gender, whether you want to be bisexual, trisexual, are you a cisgender, transgender, whatever. Your credit score has nothing to do with that. The only thing your credit score has to do with is your character, not the content of your skin, but the content of your character. And that's the reason why I love teaching on financial literacy, because once you build up your credit profile and when you're dealing in socioeconomic situations where they look at your credit, you can be equal. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter where you start, but it matters where you finish. You might not have been born rich, but if you die broke, it is your fault. You might not have been born in opportunity, but if you die without opportunity, it is your fault. Especially because God has put me on this earth to teach you guys how you're able to go through the process of being able to build your credit that's completely separate from your personal credit, as well as how you're able to restore your credit. And like I said, I'm teaching on how you're able to have a perfect credit score in 2020. All right. So I'm teaching on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. So in 1970 was when the FCRA was created. Now, the FCRA began to regulate the credit bureaus because they were putting things on your credit report that had nothing to do with your credit worthiness. And now, because of the FCRA, things have been set aside to where they only look at certain character things, certain characteristics. Now, for all of my people that are born in the that were born in the 80s, this is something that's in the 90s, this is something that's 80s, excuse me, in the 80s, this is very important. Your FICO score was created in 1989, all right? Now, if you guys are with me, I want everyone to say 1989. If I haven't lost you, I want you to say 1989, all right? If you're still with me, I want you to say 1989. All right, I want you to say 1989. If you're with me, I want you to say 1999. Your FICO score was created in 1989. Now, this is important. So now we've gone through a brief history, all right? We've gone through a brief history so that you can understand where we are to this point. 1989 was when the FICO score was created, all right? So once again, let's do a quick recap. Now, your credit score is made up of 5 different areas, and we're going to break that down. Your FICO score. So because in 1989 is when they began to evaluate your credit based on these 5 particular principles. So before, they would take some things into consideration when it came to your credit worthiness, but now in 1989, because of the FICO score being created in 1989, your credit score is now determined by 5 different things, all right? So now that you know the history of your credit, let's talk about how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. So your credit score is made up of 5 different areas. Let's talk about the thing that happened in 1989 that makes this so great. In 1989, the credit scoring system created this, once again, this fancy algorithm, this quantitative algorithm that makes up your credit score. And everything is multiplied by percentages of 5. I'm not going to get too deep. I'm going to try to keep it basic, okay? I'm going to try to keep it super simple, okay? I'm going to try to keep it super simple. But everything is impacted by a 5% scale. Now, FICO stands for the Fair Isaac Company, which created this algorithm that makes up your credit score. Now, because of that, you're now able to affect your scores if you're able to manipulate those 5 things. And I'm going to teach you tonight how you're able to manipulate those 5 things legally so that you can legally have the best credit score in 2020, all right? Now, for all the individuals that were born, the new millennials, this is very important. June 25th of 2011, something came along that completely changed everything. Now, in 2007, the credit bureaus gave notice to the government that they were creating something that was called a post-randomization number. So because of the post-randomization number, you're no longer typographed by your credit score. Now, before, your credit score, if you looked at your credit score, it would tell you where you were born based on the first 3 digits of your credit. The first 3 digits of your credit score would tell where you were born. So if you were going through a manual underwriting process, and a manual underwriting process is when your file is being reviewed by a physical person, not a computer. And so if that was the case, and if you did come across a bigot, or you did come across someone who had some type of prejudice against people from the North, or people from the South, or people from the West Coast, or even people on the East Coast, or people from specific states, by your credit score, you could determine where you're from. Now, in 2011, they created a post-randomization number. So now it does not matter where you're born. It does not matter who you're born to. You cannot be marginalized against your credit score anymore. So for all of my millennials and all the people that are coming behind, and there's this nonsense or this foolishness where people say, well, white people credit is better than ours, or people say immigrants credits are better than ours. So let me add some redress to that, all right? So one, it's not better, it just has a blank slate. However, when you know the 5 things that go into your credit report, and we're going to break those down again, all right? So when you know the 5 things that go into your credit report, you're able to start off as if you're starting off with a clean slate. So yes, Anybody that has a credit score after 2007, 2011 was when it became nationwide, but anyone that's an immigrant or anyone that is born after that time that got a credit score, now there's no way that they can be marginalized by their area or by their group number or their area number. So the first three numbers are your area number and the second two numbers are your group number, okay? Now, there was a very small percentage of individuals that were marginalizing people because of that. A very small percentage were doing so. But now, because of modern technology and something that's called AUS, which is the automatic underwriting systems, you're now able to be underwritten by computers, all right? 99.9%, when you take all of the credit applications in its totality, 99.9% of all credit applications are done electronically. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know, I want you to say didn't know. So the way that banking and finance works is the very first thing that they do is run you through AUS, run you through your automatic underwriting system. Once you are approved, a human never looks at your file. It's only if you're red flagged or if you're denied in which a human looks at your file. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know, I want you to say didn't know. All right. All right. So Bunny says knew that. Thank you so much for that. All right. Mika Field says knew that. Hope 27 says didn't know. Friendly Me says didn't know. D Anderson says knew that. All right. Torrent says knew that. All right. I want everyone to say AUS. AUS stands for Automatic Underwriting Systems. AUS stands for Automatic Underwriting System. So people are talking about, oh, these computers are taking our jobs, they're taking our jobs. And I don't mean to make levity of the situation that's happening with automation, because it's a very real thing. However, in the banking and finance world and in the banking world, they done took our jobs back years and years and years and years and years ago. All right? Years and years and years and years ago. All right? So now let's talk about what makes up your 5 areas. All right. So once again, your credit is comprised of 5 different things. Now I'm going to teach what all 5 of these areas are, and I'm going to teach how you're able to legally manipulate them by law so that you can repair and restore your credit. Okay. I want everyone to take the moment right now to hit that like button, and I want you to share this on Facebook right now. Share this in a private Facebook group. I want you to share this in a group chat. I want you to share this with somebody who you know that needs to buy a new car. I want you to share this with somebody who you know that wants to purchase a home. This is free, okay? This is a free teaching that I normally charge $500 for this lecture, but I am teaching this to you guys for free. My next lecture, if you guys want to know if you're going to be in the Atlanta area, my next lecture for the first quarter of 2020 will be Clark, Atlanta. My second lecture is going to be at Howard University. Those are the 2 colleges so far that have confirmed. But let's go ahead and break this down. I want everyone to hit that share button right now. I want you to share the wealth, because I'm teaching truth to power on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. And it all starts with having that foundation, okay? Did you guys share this? Let's go ahead and I hadn't looked at my analytics all night. I'm trying to stay focused. Let's see how long I've been live, okay? We have a total of 80 people watching live on YouTube right now. I want all of you guys to hit that like button right now and hit that share button. All right, we have 48 thumbs up. I want everyone to hit that like button and hit that share button right now. All right, I want you to share this on Facebook. Share this in a group chat. Share this in a private Facebook group. Share this in a WhatsApp group. I'm teaching you guys right now truth to power on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Now, all right, finding me, that's a very good question. I'm going to get into that. I'm going chronologically, and it's very important that you guys wait till the end. I'm going to answer 5 questions now. I normally will open up the phone lines so that You guys can call in. So if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you click the link above so that you can subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure that you hit that notification bell so that anytime I'm live, you can participate with me live. And if you're like, Dean, I am subscribed, but I did not know that you were live, you make sure that you text the word funding 101 to 833-934-1328. That's 833-934-1328. Text the word funding 101 to that number, and the next time I'm live, you can participate, or you can call in, or you can ask me questions. All right, you guys are ready to get into this. Now I want everyone to say 35%, right? Even if you're watching on the replay, participate with me as if you're watching live. I want you to make a mind-muscle connection with this content. I want you to say 35%. I want everyone to say 35%. I want everyone to say 35%. All right, somebody just asked who I was. All right, so once again, I am the CEO of E.DeanCole Coaching. We're a consulting firm. We have a 98% approval rating. We specialize in business credit and funding. So I am the CEO of E.DeanCole Coaching. I am a #1 best-selling author, business coach, life coach, and speaker. So it's very important for you guys to make sure you subscribe so that you guys understand how you're able to repair your credit for free and have the perfect credit score in 2020, okay? Now, let's get into this. 35%. Thank you guys so much for participating. Thank you so much for that. Billy Bird says 35%. Antoine Park says 35%. Zeus says 35%. Thanks so much for that. 35%. So yes, your credit score is made up of 35% your history. So that means that how you make your payments. So now let me explain. When you're looking at an AUS, an automatic underwriting engine, to purchase a home, they look at the last 24 months of your payment history for your personal credit. So if you're wanting to purchase a home, the things that go into the automatic underwriting engine is your last 24 months, okay? So for the last 2 years. Now, this is a mistake that a lot of people make when they're trying to restore and repair their credit. The very first thing that I hear when people say, I need to fix my credit, to clear up my credit, the first thing that they say is, I need to pay off old debts. They want to pay off old collections. You never, ever pay off collections. I want everyone to say, never pay collections. 3 words. Never pay collections to begin to clean up your credit. That is not how you raise your credit score. As a matter of fact, if you do pay off an old credit card or an old collection or an old debt or an old charge-off that's been dormant for longer than 24 months, what happens is your credit score then goes down. Let me add some stuff to this. Give me a second, guys. I wanna add some stuff to this. I'm teaching and I'm teaching truth to power. So let me pull this up, okay? Boom. So we got both of them up right here. All right. So this is very important. The algorithm right here, this algorithm right here, that's quantitative algorithm. 35% is based on your payment history. Now let's do a temperature check. If you have ever tried to pay off an old debt, if somebody told you to clear up your credit or to pay off a debt and you paid off a debt and your scores went down, if that happened to you, I want you to say ouch. All right? If that happened to you, I want you to say ouch. Now, if that has not happened to you, if you have been thinking about paying off an old debt and you have not paid off an old debt, I want you to give me the thinking emoji, because it is not by happenstance that somebody shared this video with you, because I'm teaching you how you're able to restore and repair your credit the proper way, okay? So let's do a temperature check. All right, so Finding Me says ouch. J24 says ouch. Antoine says ouch. So yeah, so that's a misconception, especially in the African American community. I don't know everyone's ethnicity or ethnos that's watching me live, because all I can see is your little avatars. However, when I look at the demographics, 70% of the individuals that follow me are African American men. And in the African American community, we don't understand the benefits of payment history, and we don't understand the benefits of making on-time payments. We just charge it, pay it off immediately. Charge it, pay it off immediately. Charge it. If you can't pay it, you can pay it when you can, and when you can pay it at that time. That is that sense of pride. It makes us feel good, but it makes you feel good on the inside, which is very important, but it don't make your credit score feel good, because this algorithm, this quantitative algorithm right here, it affects your credit by 35%. So watch this. If you have an old collection that's older than 24 months and you pay that off, what happens is that you have new activity on your payment history, and it's all negative. So it's going to drop your scores, and then your scores will go up in 2 cycles, which is normally 60 days. Sometimes it's 45 days, depending on the creditor. If it's a credit card, most of the time it's 45 days. But if it's an old collection, it'll be 60 days. Okay, most of the time it'll be 60 days. If it's a current credit card, or if it's a credit card with that you have that's still open and active, most of the time it will reflect 45 days. But then when you go for older collections that have been dormant for longer than 24 months, it will drop your score for 60 days, which are 2 billing cycles, and then your scores will go up. However, I'm telling you how you can have the perfect credit in 2020. So why go backwards? Why hustle backwards? There's an African American colloquialism that says hustling backwards. Why work harder? We're going to work smarter, especially when you have me in your corner to help you. So your payment history is reflected by 35%. So that means that if you're looking at your credit, and most people who are trying to repair their credit, most of them have a lot of old items that are old collections, and they have a lot of old things on their credit report that they want to clear up. That's the number one demographic. The second demographic of individuals are people who don't have a payment history because they have new credit. And having new credit is sometimes worse than having bad credit, because if you have bad credit, at least you have a history to show off. So let's do a temperature check. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with me as well. My team, we're going to be looking at the comments, and I'm curious to know, how many of you guys right now think that you have bad credit because you have no credit, or you have no score, or nobody will give you credit? If you're someone that has no score, I want you to say no score. If you're somebody that has a low score, 9 times out of 10, your score is low because you have a lot of old collections. I want you to say low score. All right, I'm teaching. Hey, Carolyn Raven. Carolyn Raven says, hello, how are you doing? All right, come on, guys. I want you to participate with me. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with me as if you are watching me live, okay? I feed off of your energy. Okay, so Quiet Storm has low score. All right, STB Global says low score. Finding Me says low score. So Stanley Simpson says no score. Antoine Park says low score. All right, Janelle24 says low score. All right, Larry says low score. All right, thank you so much for participating. All right, so Curtis says your high score is 20%. Okay, that's awesome, Curtis. Congratulations, my man. All right, so a lot of you guys have a low score, which is very good, because this is how you're able to effectively boost your credit. Now, the best thing for you to do is to get these items removed off your credit. I'm going to break down all 5 areas that make up your credit score, and then I'm going to show you how to effectively remove items and manipulate items in each area. So 35% of your score is made up by your payment history. That's very important. Your payment history makes up 35%. The second thing that makes up your credit is the amount owed, which is 30%. All right. So the amount owed is when you have a lot of high items. Most of the time, if somebody is stuck at a 600 credit score and they can't get higher than a 600 credit score, that algorithm right here tells us professionals that you have a lot of high limit, where you have maxed out credit cards, you have student loans that are due right now, and you have a mortgage, or you have a car loan, or you have installment loans, you have HSN and Fingerhood and all these other large lines of credit, and you might have a perfect payment history, but you're maxed out. If that's you, I want you to say maxed out. All right? If your scores are low because you're maxed out, this is what affects 30% of your score. So 30% times 5 is what goes into fixing that algorithm that makes up your credit score, okay? All right, so Bluebird says student loans. All right, so Hoop 27 says you have a low score. All right, so maxed out. So thanks so much for participating. So Bunny Anderson says maxed out. All right, Antoine Park says maxed out. All right, all of you guys, if you're learning something new and you've never learned this before, I want you to share this right now on Facebook. Share this, like I said, in a group chat. I want you to share this on Twitter. Share this on Instagram. Take a screenshot and at me on Instagram. If you guys want to know my Instagram is at E.DeanCole. At me on Instagram and share this. I'm teaching truth to power on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. So the amount owed is what makes up 30% of your credit report, or your credit score, your credit score. So if you're maxed out, that is the second largest factor that affects your credit. Now that's very important because I'm going to teach how you're able to legally manipulate this so that you're able to boost your credit score. So 30% is the amount that is owed on your debts that make up your credit profile. Now, the next area that makes up your credit profile is your length of history. So all three of these things deal with individuals that already have credit. People that are 80s babies and 70s babies and 90s babies. You know, some of you guys are young gunners and y'all hot shots. Y'all trying to be like Ghost from New York. And y'all stepping out, y'all doing it. You got your Louis Vuitton and you got your Gucci and you got your maxed out credit cards and all these other different things. And these are the top three things that make up your credit profile. And these are the top three things that we have to begin to manipulate the right way so that we can boost your credit and have the perfect credit score in 2020. Now watch this. Your length of credit history makes up 15% of your credit. So watch this. All of you guys that have no credit, this is one of the things that is bothering a lot of you guys, is because people will say your credit is too new. Have you ever applied for a credit card or applied for a personal loan or applied for a car and got a denial and it says length of credit or credit too new? If you've ever seen that before, I want you to say 15%. If you're one of the ones where that has happened to you, I want you to say 15%. If you're one of the ones where you've been turned down because your length of history, I want you to say 15%. I'm going to show you guys a legal way, a real cool hack on how you're able to manipulate this legally so that you can have the perfect credit score in 2020, okay? And I'm not just going to tell you some loophole or tell you some trick. I'm teaching you truth to power on how this works and why this is able to work for you. It's very important for you to understand the how and the why. Okay, that's good stuff. So, Alizine Iris, I think that's the name, Alizino Iris says, what if you have a 750 score? If you have a 750 score, that means that you are well above average and you are looking really good and you can purchase anything that you want. Just make sure that you use your 750 score the right way to build wealth and not just to ball out. So if that's you, Alizino Iris, congratulations. You're in the 20 percentile because the average credit score is a 680 is the average score. So by you having the 750, you're doing very good. All right. So now let's go ahead and let's go another further. All right. So let's do a recap. So remember, the number one thing that makes up your credit score is 35% is your payment history. That makes up the largest portion of your credit score. The next portion is the amount owed. That's 30%. That makes up the largest portion of your credit profile. Then the third thing is 15% is your length of history. That is what goes into this algorithm that makes up your credit profile, is length of history. Now watch this. This is very, very important, okay? A lot of gurus will tell you to go out and get a new secured credit card, and because they don't know any better. They don't understand. And I don't mean to talk down, all right? I don't mean to talk down at all. I understand that people are excited about finances, and they're excited about economics, and they're excited about becoming red pill and becoming woke, and they're excited about that, and they want to help their generations. I get that. I completely get that. If that's you, kudos to you. However, there is a subsection of individuals who are trying to become credit gurus, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're giving out false information, and it's negatively affecting people. Let me show you. Watch this in the comments. And if you're watching this on Facebook, if you want to see the live comments, click the link below, and it'll take you to the YouTube video, and you can see the live comments and see what people are saying live, okay? 10% of the algorithm that makes up your credit profile is your new credit. It's one of the smallest percentages, new credit. Watch this. How many of you guys have ever heard to get a secured credit card? And they're thinking, when you get a secured credit card, it's going to create a profile for you, because now you're going to get credit. However, it can negatively affect you. Because you have individuals like myself, and you have other powerful economic teachers that should teach you to establish credit, do not use a secured credit card. A secured credit card is new credit. It makes up 10% of the algorithm that goes into your credit profile. Yes, you will establish credit. Yeah, you'll go from having no credit to having a 580. Yeah, you'll go from having a 580 to only having a 600, but you won't be able to purchase a home. You won't be able to purchase a car. Yeah, you can get some other small credit cards at a 600 score, but that's it. When you start to get a secured credit card, if you start to get a secured credit card to affect your credit, it's only affecting your credit by 10%. However, secured credit card does something else, and I'm going to teach, is that your credit mix is affected by 10%. And that has a positive and negative effect on your credit profile, which is your credit mix. And I'm going to explain that, okay? Now, if everybody have ever heard if anybody has ever heard someone say, get a secured credit card to help boost up your credit, I want you to say, they told me. 3 words. They told me. If anybody has ever told you, in order to get credit, all you got to do is get a secured credit card. You can get a secured credit card, but you're not going to be able to get a nice house. You won't be able to get a nice lease or a rental. You'll be able to get something nice in the hood. You'll be able to get out your mama's house and get off your baby's mama couch, which is good. At the same time, I'm teaching truth to power on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Not just how you're able to fix your credit a little bit, but just how you're able to have the perfect credit score, okay? Smith 203 says they told me. Thank you so much for that. So Bluebird says they told me. Thank you so much for that. All right, even if you're watching on the replay, okay, I want you to participate with me as if you're watching live. I want you to make a mind-muscle connection with this content. And if you are wanting to make sure that you don't miss out on any more free teachings and free coaching classes and whatnot, make sure you text the word funding 101 to 833-934-1328. That's 833-934-1328. You'll be on our VIP list, and you will never miss out again, okay? They told you, okay? Now, watch this. Yes, if you get a secured credit card, it will boost your credit by a minuscule 10% in most cases. Now, this is the important thing. When you are getting a credit, when you're establishing credit, for the individuals that are establishing credit, when you get a secured credit card, it will negatively affect your ability to get larger, higher lines of credit when you get a secured credit card, because you're considered a high risk borrower. because secured credit cards are designed for people with bad credit. Let me go back and let me explain something to you, okay? So when the FICO was created, when the FICO was created in 1989, there was also when scoring models began to go into effect. And the secured credit card was created specifically for individuals that had quote unquote bad credit. Now, it is not fair for you to be marginalized or typecast as a high-risk borrower just because you don't know. The number one best-selling book of all times that taught me how to be the most powerful and effective business coach says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. The reason why I know this is because even though I don't look it, you know what I'm saying, I look like I'm pretty young, you know what I'm saying, I'm young, you know what I'm saying, I'm in the gym, I'm getting my stuff together, I look like I'm a young buck, but in actuality, I'm about to be 37 years old. And I was blessed to start working in banking and finance at the age of 18. So I have close to 2 decades. It's about to be 2 decades when I turn 18 next month when I turn 38. I would have 2 decades of operating in banking and finance, working for lenders, working with banks, and that's the reason why I know this. The only reason why I know this is because I worked in underwriting. That's the only reason why. Because they don't teach this anywhere else. And when you're working for the bank, it is illegal for you to tell people how to do this when you are an employee of the bank. But because I own a consulting firm and I do coaching, and now I contract with the banks and I'm not an employee of the bank, I am legally able to tell you everything that you need to know on how you're able to build and repair your credit, establish your credit, get funding, okay? I'm glad you like me. Millennium Trucker, I like you too. I like you too, Millennial Trucker. So this is very important, all right? So in 1989 was the creation of the secured credit card. The creation of the secured credit card created in 1989, and if you get a Premier One or a Capital One, or you get a Fingerhut, or you get a global bank or a World Bank card, you're going to have a $500 limit and you're going to be stuck at $500. It seems like no matter how much you try, the only thing they're going to give you is $500 limits, $500 limits. You might keep that secured credit card for a year. They might take you to a $1,000 limit, which is not fair. Because the credit system, when you understand and know the credit system, you can get $3,000, $4,000, and $5,000. You can get those American Express with unlimited balances, $15,000 from Discover. Okay, when you know how to legally manipulate this algorithm to make up your credit score. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you knew that, the reason why you keep getting stuck at these small limits is because your scores can't go higher because of your credit mix. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know that, I want you to give me 3 OMG emojis. Don't say OMG, but give me 3 OMG emojis. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with me, okay? Whether you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, I want you to participate with me, okay? If you did not know that, and better yet, if it's you, if you've tried to get larger limits, and if you've tried to get higher limits, and you feel like your payment history is good, and you can't see why they won't give you no money, is because of your credit mix. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know that, give me 3 OMG faces. So the first person to give me 3 OMG faces was Antoine Parks. Thank you so much for that, Antoine Parks. Thank you so much for that, Tony Smith. Thank you so much for that, Finding Me. Thank you so much for that, Bunny. Yes, so when you have a high-risk credit card, a high-risk secured card, what happens is you then are typecast as high risk, and you're not even high risk. You're just uneducated. You don't know. And it's because, especially in the African American diaspora, we're educated by uneducated people. And I'm not saying this to talk down on people. It's just a fact, because they don't know. And the only reason why I know is because I work for the banks. That's the only reason why I know. Because when you go to school to get a master's, they don't teach you about credit. When you get a master's, they don't even teach you how to, you get an MBA, a master's in business administration, they don't teach you how to start a business. They teach you how to manage somebody else's business. Even when you go to school for real estate, or you go to school for economics, or you go to school for development, they teach you how to develop real estate. They'll teach you how to manage your portfolio, but they don't teach you the credit aspects of it. The only reason why I know this, like I said, is because of 2 decades of experience, okay? And so your credit mix can negatively affect you. So if you're in the building stage, do not get a secured credit card. So a lot of you guys say, okay, well, Dean, what do I do? What do I supposed to do? I don't have credit. I hear you talking, I want to get credit, but I don't know no other way. I'm going to teach you how, okay? There are 2 ways on how you're able to overcome this. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And I'm going to show you and give you free resources at the end on how you're able to establish credit, even if you have no credit and without having to have that high risk of that credit mix, okay? So let's do a quick redress. Now, the algorithm that makes up your credit score is broken up into 5 areas. The first area that makes up your credit score is your payment history. That makes up your credit by 35%. All right. The second thing that makes up your credit is 30% is the amount owed. All right. The third thing that makes up your credit is your length of history, which is 15%. Then the fourth thing is your credit mix, which is the different types of credit that you have. All right. And then the other is the 10%, which is your new credit. OK, your new credit is what makes up another 10%. Now, let me take a step back. Now, let's talk about credit mix a little bit more. Now, for the individuals that have done a good job, they have a $1,000 line of credit, $2,000 line of credit. They might have a house, or they don't have a house yet, or they don't have a car. Like the individual that have a 750 score, and they want to have a 800 score. They want to have that perfect credit. This is where this plays a factor for you. When you have done everything that you can and you're already in the high 7s, you're in the high 7s, and you just want to have something that's called a novelty score. Now, I want everyone to focus your mind. I want you to steal your mind. I am talking specifically to the individuals that have maintained and established good credit, and they're just trying to get perfect credit, okay? This is not for the newbies. This is not for people that's trying to restore their credit. This is not for people that's trying to establish credit, but this is for people that have a high 700 score and they want to get in the high 800s and they want to have that novelty score, okay? For you all, your credit mix matters because when you're looking at your credit profile, a mortgage needs to be on your credit profile, a installment loan needs to be on your credit profile, revolving credit needs to be on your credit profile, and auto needs to be on your credit profile. So these are the 4 things that go into your credit mix that's going to take you above that mark. So for everyone, I want everyone to say novelty, okay? And the reason why I say novelty is because anything above a 720 is for novelty's sakes. When it comes to applying for a mortgage, when it comes to getting 0% interest, when it comes to getting business funding or business credit, 720 is the minimum guideline that underwriters and banks look at to give you a 0% interest, to get a American Express, in order to get a $15,000 or $20,000 line of credit. The minimum requirement is a 720. Anything above that is for novelty's sake. I want everyone to say novelty's sake, okay? For novelty's sake. And remember, I'm teaching on how you're able to have the perfect credit score in 2020, okay? This is for novelty's sake. So when it comes to your credit mix needs to have a auto loan. It needs to have an installment loan. It needs to have a mortgage, and it needs to have a revolving lines of credit. And you need to have 3 revolving lines of credit. These are the 4 things. The 4 things, it is a auto loan, a mortgage, an installment loan, and 3 revolving lines of credit. You're able to maintain those things to get that novelty score, okay? If you guys knew that, I want you to say, you're right. If you didn't know that, I want you to give me the OMG face. Even if you're watching this on Facebook, like I said, give me 3 OMG faces, okay? All right, let's look and see how we're looking on our analytics, okay, guys? Let's see how we're looking on our analytics. All right, we have a total 116. We only have 72 thumbs up. I need all of you guys to hit that thumbs up button. I want everyone to hit that thumbs up button right now, and I want you to share this. Thank you guys so much for your participation. All right, thanks so much. So funding me is learning a lot. That's good stuff. So Curtis Davis says, you're right. Thanks so much for the vote of confidence, Curtis. All right, the Grace says, the circle says you're right. All right, thank you so much for the vote of confidence. Jonathan Phillips says you're right. Thank you so much for that vote of confidence. Now, let's go another further and let's do some math, okay? Let's go another further and let's do some math. Now, I want everyone to add 35 plus 30 plus 15. And what do you have? What is that number? 35 plus 30 plus 15, what do you have? What is the number? 35 plus 30. I didn't make a graphic for this. I should have made a graphic for this. Made it easier. Because I know some people learn by visual aid. So what do you get? 75. That's right. Bluebird was the first one to participate. Bluebird is on it, Bluebird. Bluebird, are you a subscriber? If I see you live next time, Bluebird, I'm going to make you a moderator, okay? Next time I'm live, Bluebird, I'm going to make you a moderator because you are on it. You are participating and you are doing awesome. If you're a subscriber, Bluebird, and the next time I see you live, I'm going to make you a mod. 30 plus 35 plus 15. I'm sorry, it's 80%. Forgive me, Bluebird, 80%. That's right, 80%. Forgive me, 80%. 80%. So 80% just on your history, on your length of history, just on your credit history, and the amount owed on your credit makes up 80%. If you're able to attack that 80%, and I'm going to show you and teach you guys how you're able to legally attack that 80% to boost your scores. For people that are enrolled into my courses, I have a course called the 720 FICO coaching. And in the 720 FICO coaching, we boost your score anywhere from 75 to 100 points. The reason why we do that is because we attack that 80%. And I'm going to teach you guys how to get to that 80. Because that 80 is what makes up majority of your credit, okay? 80. Now, let's talk about that. Somebody asked a question earlier about the Ultra FICO or the FICO 8, excuse me. Let's get to the FICO 8. Now, the FICO 8 was an adaptation that happened under President Obama. President Obama did a very good job of stabilizing the economy. Whether you like it or not, a fact is a fact. Whether I want to say it or not, it's nighttime in the Dominican Republic. I started, it was in the day, but I don't care what you say, it's night. No matter what I say, it's nighttime. A fact is a fact. All right, a fact is a fact, all right? So the fact is that President Obama did a very good job of stabilizing the economy, and under President Obama, the FICO 8 was created. Now, the importance of the FICO 8 is that the FICO 8 now allows you to manipulate certain items on your credit report specifically for the purposes of obtaining funding for a car and obtaining funding for mortgages and obtaining funding for for your quality of life. All right, so your FICO 8 is very important when it comes to establishing your credit and when it comes to building your credit specifically for those purposes. Now, your FICO 8, when you're dealing with a FICO 8 situation, now we're starting to talk a lot about manual underwriting, okay? So automatic underwriting is when your information goes through AUS, which is an automatic underwriting system. When you begin to go with FICO 8 and people begin to look at your FICO 8, what happens is that your FICO 8 is determined by the high risk on your credit cards. So if you do have a small limit of, let's say, $500 or $300, if you are maxed out or if you are very high, if you are more than 30% utilization on your cards, then it's going to negatively affect your FICO 8. However, if you're able to pay down those debts, so if your card is $500, if you pay $250, you're at 50%. So let's say, for instance, if you pay $250 plus another $125, so you pay $375. So that is the key sweet spot you need to be at. I know people say, charge up $500 and pay it off. Charge up $500 and pay it off. No. If you have a credit limit of $500, you want to keep a balance of at least $125 or 30%. In order for you to maximize the FICO 8, all of your credit cards need to have a balance going into the next month of 30% and under. I want everyone to say 30% and under, okay? 30% and under. The FICO 8, the big major thing about the FICO 8 are these two things. Thing number one is that it is based on your utilization. So that way, when you're talking about a FICO 8, you're already in a manual underwrite. Manual underwrite does not mean that you're automatically denied. It just means that now you're dealing with an underwriting professional that is going to determine your risk based on your FICO 8 score. So if you have a low credit score or you have slow credit or very new credit, the number one thing they're going to look at is your utilization. So you want to make sure that you're at 30% and you have to keep that balance. Watch this. If you charge up your credit card, let's say $400, and your balance is $500, and at the end of the month, you turn around and pay it off before that cycle happens, it does not reflect your payment history. All right? Remember, what makes up 35% is your payment history. So when you charge up your card and you turn around and pay it off in the same month, you're not establishing a good payment history. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, when you're dealing with a FICO 8, your balance does not show that minimum 30%. So you want your revolving lines of credit, your credit cards, to have a 30% balance so that way it can help boost up your FICO 8, all right? Now, the FICO 8 is also mirrored by having a good a good balance in your checking account, okay? Now, remember, this is all manual underwriting. Now, us as a consulting firm, we specialize on getting you funding, and we specialize on getting you credit, lines of credit, by maximizing all of the legal loopholes under the automatic underwriting system. If you can go through your automatic underwriting system, then it does not matter. You should not have to worry about your FICO 8 because we want your scores to be so strong that you don't have to go through a manual underwrite. However, if you do find yourself dealing with the manual underwrite, then you need to understand how the FICO 8 works. And the way the FICO 8 works is by your utilization being at 30%. And the second thing is having a balance in your checking account or your savings account. Now, lenders that specialize in FICO 8 funding or FICO 8 financing, they're going to want to see the last 6 to 12 months of your checking account. It is not required all the time. Most of the time for the business world, that's very common. But today we're not talking about business credit. Today we're talking specifically about how to have the perfect credit score in 2020. So you want to make sure that you have a healthy amount of money saved up in the bank. Ideally, you want to have your balance saved in the bank. That's ideally. I know a lot of people might say, well, Dean, I have 4 credit cards and they're $500 a piece. I don't have $2,000 just sitting around. That's okay. That's cool. But ideally, so that you can understand how the FICO 8 works, is if you're able to show a balance or a utilization of 30%, and you're able to show that you have the amount to pay off all of your credit cards sitting in the bank, then under your FICO 8, you're going to get the best terms. So FICO 8, the things that are focused on is your utilization of 30%. And then the second thing that is focused on is your balances on your bank account. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. All right. If you didn't know, I want you to say didn't know. All right. If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know, I want you to say didn't know. I swear, Bluebird, the next time I'm live and I see that you're on live, I'm going to make you a moderator. You're doing a phenomenal job. I appreciate your support, Bluebird. All right. Now let's go another further, okay? Now remember, I'm going to teach you and give you guys resources on how you're able to legally manage all of these things, okay? But I have to teach so that you understand the FICO 8, all right? So that's the main importance of the FICO 8. Now let's go to the FICO 9. Now the FICO 9 is very important because this is the latest and greatest in the credit industry, and the FICO 9 is very important when it comes to building your credit and how to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Now let me ask, have you guys ever heard of the FICO 9? If you've ever heard of the FICO 9, I want you to say have heard. If you've never heard of it before, I want you to say never have. 2 words. Even if you're watching on the replay, okay? I want you to make a mind muscle connection with this content. If you have heard of it before, I want you to say have heard. If you've never heard of it before, I want you to say, matter of fact, I want you to say FICO 9. Excuse me. If you've heard of it before, I want you to say have heard. If you've never heard of it before, I want you to say FICO 9. All right? If you've heard of it before, I want you to say have heard. If you've never heard of it before, I want you to say FICO 9. If you've never heard of the FICO 9 before, I want you to say FICO 9. This is very important. All right, a lot of you guys says have heard, never have. Okay, so instead of saying never have, I want you to say, instead of saying never have, I want you to actually say FICO 9. Thank you so much for that, Quiet Storm. All right, Chef, the Flavor was the first one to say FICO 9. Thank you so much for being sharp, Chef, the Flavor. FICO 9, FICO 9. FICO 9 is the newest, latest, and greatest in the adaptation of manual underwriting. Now, we're talking about how to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Now, in FICO 9, a lot of the lenders are now moving towards, when they're doing their manual underwrite, they're looking at the FICO 9. There are 3 factors that make up your FICO 9. Remember, the 2 factors, let's go back, okay? The 2 factors that make up your FICO 8 is your utilization on your credit cards, and then your balance on your checking or savings account. On your FICO 9, the items that make up your FICO 9, the 3 things are your medical collection, your medical collections, your medical debts, your third-party collections, which are great because I'm going to show you how you can legally remove all these third-party collections, and your rental history. Now, the cool thing about the FICO 9 is that you're now, because of the adaptation of the FICO 9, when you add your credit history to your profile, it now can impact your credit in the 35% as well as the 15%, which is your credit history and your length of history. So if you've been renting and even if you're staying with your baby mama, if she gives you a lease, I'm going to show you resources on how you're able to add your credit history, your rental history to your FICO 9. So the 3 things that go into your FICO 9 are your medical debts, your third-party collections, and your rental history. Why is this important? If you know that you're trying to purchase a car, this happens a lot of times when it comes to purchasing a car. And remember, we're talking about how to have the perfect credit score in 2020. This is the manual underwriting process. Everything we talked about, and I'm going to explain how to manipulate everything in a few moments, how you're able to boost your scores so that you don't even have to go through a manual underwrite. However, if you know that the bank that you're lending uses the FICO 9, that means that you should not be afraid if you don't have medical bills, if you don't have a lot of old collections, and if you have very slow credit or no credit, they will actually allow you to report your rental history and just utilize your rental history and add it to your profile. Now let's do a temperature check. The only payments that are automatically added to your rental history, added to your credit profile are your mortgage payment. Rental is not automatically added to your profile. Did you know that? And let's do a temperature check. Like I said, even if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to participate with me as if you're watching me live, and make sure that you text the word funding 101. Text that word funding 101 to 833-934-1328. So the next time I'm live and I do a special teaching, you can get access to that. So if you knew that, I want you to say you're right. Okay? I want you to say the word you're right. If you didn't know that, I want you to say OMG. All right? If you knew that, I want you to say knew that. If you didn't know that, I want you to say OMG. Because there are a lot of people that are millennials, and there are a lot of people that don't know, they don't understand, and everybody comes from different walks of life. And it's important for me to teach truth to power that your rental payment is not automatically added to your credit. Some people think it is. And they get frustrated because they try to go and add rental history to their, or they try to go and apply for something. They say, well, I pay my utility bills and I pay my light bill and my gas bill, and my light bill and my gas bill ain't never gone away. And I mean, my lights ain't never been turned off, and I always pay my rent on time. Why can't I get approved? Because your rental history is not automatically added to your credit profile. If you knew that, I want you to say you're right. If you didn't know that, I want you to say OMG. See, look, for instance, for all the people that are watching, like Chef didn't know that, Donette didn't know that, Jay didn't know that, Ray didn't know that. Thank you so much for participating. All right, Antoine didn't know that. So it's very important for you guys to understand how credit works and what affects your credit, because I don't want you putting the right energy in the wrong place. So the reason why that's important, because some people say, well, Dean, should I buy a house or should I save up to buy cash? No. If you can afford a mortgage, if you can get a mortgage, get it now, because that's how you're creating a legacy, you're building a legacy, and your payments are going to positively affect you. All right. Now let's break it down a little bit more. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the 35%. Now we're going to talk about the 35%. We're going to talk about these three things that helped your credit the most. All right, give me a moment. We're going to talk about these three things that help your credit the most. I'm about to pull them all up on the screen so you can see the three things. And what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you guys 2 easy legal hacks that are going to show you how you're able to boost your credit score. What I'm going to talk about is how you're able to boost your length. I just put your length, boom, your length, and how you're able to boost. Remember, we talked about that 80%. So if you guys are with me, I want everyone to say 80%. You guys are with me? I want you guys to say 80. So what I'm talking about right now is how you're able to legally affect this 80%. And these are the things that's going to allow you to boost your credit the most. There are 2 things that will allow you to boost your credit the most, so that you can instantly begin to skyrocket your credit anywhere from 75 to 100 points. All right? So what I'm about to teach right now is going to make this a little bit smaller so it looks pretty on the screen. That looks pretty on the screen, but let me make it look even prettier. You guys know that I am not a perfectionist, but I believe in professionalism at all cost. And this is live, okay? This is a live lecture. So let's get them all up on the screen. Bam. There we go. All right, so now let's talk about, these are 2 legal ways to affect your score in one whop by 80%. This is how you're able to boost your score like overnight. Go from having bad credit to in 30 days, the scores jump 100 points. All right, if you guys are ready, I want everyone right now. Let's see. We only have 85 thumbs up. I want everybody to hit that thumbs up button right now. I'm going to tell you right now, this 2 legal ways that you're able to boost your credit 80% overnight by affecting these 3 things simultaneously, okay? Everyone say 80%. 80%. If you haven't hit the like button yet, hit the like button. 80%, okay? I am teaching you guys how you're able to legally boost your credit to have the perfect credit score in 2020. All right, 80%. Absolutely, Quiet Storm. Each one teach one. All right. Bluebird says, ready. Like I said, Bluebird, next time I live, I'm going to make you a moderator because you show up to the next live. I mean, you've been doing your thing. I appreciate you so much, Bluebird. 80%. So, the easiest way for you to legally affect your credit by 80%, the first way is by doing something that's called a piggyback. I want everyone to say piggyback, okay? Piggyback. Now, this is very important when I talk about piggybacking, especially when it comes to a FICO 8. You're piggybacking, right? When you piggyback on someone else's credit, what that means is, say for instance, you are a bad chick. Let's see, you got your hair always done, you got your red bottoms, you're taking flights, you popping bottles, you've been to Dubai a couple of times, you're doing your thing, you know, you got a couple $20,000 credit cards, you're doing your thing. Or let's say, for instance, you've been working real hard, you've been robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you've been doing the best that you can, and you're at a situation and you want to boost your scores. In both situations, you can piggyback on someone else's credit. What piggybacking on someone else's credit means is being an authorized user. So if there's someone that has a long payment history, say they have a credit card that's been open for at least 5 years, you want to go 5 years or better, that has a high credit limit, if they add you as an authorized user, it does not mean that you get an actual credit card. It just means that they add you as an authorized user on their credit card. It will instantly boost your credit by 80% by somebody adding to your credit profile. So let's say, for instance, if you are a lady and you're in love with a guy and he's trying his hardest and you have good credit and he's trying to repair his credit, if you add him, if you got a dope chick that's holding you down and her credit is together, ask her. Or lady, you might have a guy who's red pill and he is about his business. He has a nice condo or a nice house, a nice little car. He's doing his thing. He's been on top of his game. He got a 720, 800 credit score, whatever. You doing what you're supposed to do. You sucking him the right way. You loving him the right way. You taking care of him the right way. And you need to ask him to add you as an authorized user on that profile. When he adds you as an authorized user, then all the positivity instantly adds to your credit profile. Now, let's use the scenario. I use the scenario of Aunt Jackie and Aunt Emma. So let's say Aunt Emma been working for a company called Bell South all her life. And Aunt Emma has, when Aunt Emma she's your favorite aunt. And Aunt Emma been working for Bell South all her life. She got a Bank of America credit card that's 15 years old. Aunt Emma has a $20,000 balance, and all Aunt Emma does is use it to shop at HSN, and she has a small little balance. If you say, Aunt Emma, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, and can you add me as an authorized user? I don't need a credit card. I'm not going to get a credit card. Just add me as an authorized user. When they add you as an authorized user, in 45 days, it will report on your credit profile and it will boost your score. When someone adds you as an authorized user, typically it takes 45 days. If your boyfriend adds you as an authorized user, your girlfriend, your side chick, your baby mama, your lover, your best friend, your work boo, your work wife, or your work husband, or your best friend, if they add you as an authorized user, it takes 45 days to report. I want everyone to say 45 days to report. 3 words. 45 days, 4 words, 45 days to report. It takes 45 days for an authorized user to report on your credit profile. Now, by you being an authorized user, that will remain on your credit profile until they take it off. So if you break up with that person, or if your aunt just says, you know what, I don't want to take you off. If you have a family member, or if you have a friend, or you have a loved one, or you have a mentor, you have some resource to someone that has pretty good credit, and they add you as an authorized user, and it's free. It costs absolutely nothing at all. It takes 45 days for them to add you on your credit profile. And after you're added, it will remain on your credit profile for the entire time that they have you as an authorized user. The moment that they take you off, that means it goes away. When you are dealing with somebody like Aunt Emma, who's a family member or a friend, somebody that's helping you out, it lasts for 45 days. All right? That's Aunt Emma. Now, there are some people that say, Dean, look, I'm from the Jets. Listen, I got it how I live. I got it from the mud. Everybody around me is jealous of me because I'm trying to do better. Don't nobody believe in success. Everybody keep telling me to shut up. Everybody tell me to stop listening to you. Everybody tell me that they hate you, Dean. Everybody says, you know what, don't listen to these credit guys, they're frauds. Everybody says you got people around you that are okay with being mediocre, and you have people around you that they look at you as the GOAT. They look at you as the hero. You don't have these different resources. Then you need to go with somebody like Aunt Jackie. Aunt Jackie is a person that has, let's say for instance, they maybe was, maybe somebody's bottom B back in the day. They used to work on the blade, or they used to run numbers. You understand what I'm saying? Or somebody that used to be in the hood, they done got themselves together. They probably did a bid and got themselves together. Or maybe somebody that just had a really rough time, a single mother or a single father that had a really rough time, and now they built up their credit profile, but at the same time, they want to make money by helping other people. Then those are called farmers, and you're able to purchase a seasoned trade line from these individuals. These are people like I call Aunt Jackie. Aunt Jackie done turned her life around. Aunt Jackie be like, yeah, baby, I add you to the profile, but it's only going to be for like 30 or 40 days. I add you, but it's only just to help you get to where you're trying to go. I'm not going to just let it sit on your profile like that, because what Aunt Jackie does is Aunt Jackie rotates those positions. So most of the time, this is just so you guys understand, a authorized user, a person is able to have 3 to 4 authorized users on their credit profile. American Express, Discover, Visa, they're all different places. Now, when we're talking about being added to someone's profile, these are credit cards, okay? So you can't add somebody as an authorized user for a car. That's called a cosigner. When you cosign for somebody, then you are financially responsible for the debt. We're not talking about cosigning, but we're talking about somebody adding you as an authorized user. That credit company, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover, whomever it is, will allow that person to add 3 to 4 individuals. Discover allows 4 people. Visa and American Express allows 3 people. Visa, American Express, and MasterCard, 3 people. Discover, 4 people. All right. When they add these people on their credit profile, what they'll do is every 3 months, they'll rotate them. They'll take a person off, wait a couple months, then add another person on. Now, in order to get an Aunt Jackie, you're going to have to pay. Some people charge $700, some people charge $1,000, some people charge $500, but you are legally able to get seasoned trade lines from individuals or people that call credit farmers so that you can boost your scores. They're called seasoned trade lines. I want you guys to say seasoned trade lines, okay? I want everyone to say seasoned trade lines. Now, when you're dealing with somebody like an Aunt Jackie, somebody you know, or somebody that is around you will have resources or people along those lines, what will happen is that they will allow it to remain on your profile for 3 months. However, when they take you off, all right, when they take you off, your scores will go down. When you get a seasoned trade line, whether you purchase it from a company like myself or you purchase it from a third party, somebody you don't know, it will only remain on your profile for 3 months. There are some situations where it will remain in your history, but when we're talking about the purposes of underwriting, this is a strategy that you use if you're at a 600 and you're trying to get to a 620 so you can purchase a home. Or let's say you're at a 580 and you're trying to get to a 620 so you can purchase a car. This is a short-term method to boost your scores. The purpose of this is so that you can acquire the good type of credit so that now you can get your own lines of credit, all right? So I want everyone to say seasoned trade line. We're talking about a seasoned trade line, okay? We're talking about a seasoned trade line. Now, let's go back to talk about that credit mix, all right? Now, this is the thing about the credit industry. Let me tell you what an underwriter's job is, okay? I must be on for over an hour because my stick is starting to to go out. But let's go back and let's talk about your credit mix, okay? So even though your credit mix only makes up 10% of your scores, the good thing about your credit mix is when a creditor sees that you have a large line of credit on your credit profile, then what they'll do is they will mirror, or they do what's called credit mirroring, and allow you to get larger lines of credit. So let's say, for instance, if you have a seasoned trade line, you purchase that seasoned trade line, or somebody gave you a seasoned trade line, and let's say it's $10,000 or $15,000. The ideal thing for you to do is to then go and apply for your own card, and you would typically get 50% of that limit. All right. In some cases, if it's a primary, not a authorized user, but it's a primary line of credit, you'll get 75%. Okay. So if you are trying to apply, typically it is 50% of that limit. I want everyone to say 50%. Let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean by that is this. Let's say you got an Aunt Jackie, or let's say you purchase a seasoned trade line from a reputable company, and let's say, for instance, you have a $10,000 Discover card. You're now, once that reports on your credit profile, you have a window of 3 months to go and apply for Discover, Visa, MasterCard, and you're going to want to look for 50% of yourself. So that means that you should get a $5,000 limit. If your high limit is 10, you should expect 5. If you purchase a seasoned trade line and the high limit is 20, you should expect 10. If you purchase a seasoned trade line of $50,000, in our company we have those, then you should be expecting 25,000. So when you're utilizing the method of a seasoned trade line, it's important for you to understand, to have the right expectation. You're typically going to get 50% when you're doing your credit mirroring, okay? When you're dealing with an authorized user. When you're dealing with a primary line of credit, then you're looking at 75%, okay? You're looking at 75%. So it's very important for you to understand that you have the right expectation. Don't think that you have failed. We are so hard on ourselves, especially everyone that's in this live, everybody that's in my demographic and the people that are drawn to me. They're very ambitious. They're very goal oriented. We're very hard on ourselves. And we say, well, how come I didn't get the $10,000? It's important for you to understand how it works. So you're going to typically get 50%. So let's take a step back. Remember, if you have somebody like a Aunt Emma that is a family member, a loved one, somebody that's in your inner circle, somebody that's actually in your circle but has your back, and they add you as an authorized user and it remains on your profile, $20,000, $10,000, whatever, those are great situations because those are free. They cost you nothing at all. And then once your profile is established and your scores are there, then you're going to be able to get around 50%. Now, if you are wanting to establish credit and you're wanting to build your credit, I'm going to share with you guys resources that are going to allow you to get $15,000 of guaranteed lines of credit that is primary on your credit profile. They're not authorized users. These are primary lines of credit. They're not secured credit cards. They're not even secured lines of credit. They are unsecured lines of credit. They will approve you as long as you're not in open bankruptcy, and as long as on your credit profile, your child support doesn't show up. I'm not talking about old girl say, I'm going to put you on child support because I seen you with that little chick. You think she better than me, and I'm going to put you on child support. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to put them folks on you. And I'm not talking about that. I mean, if you're on child support and your child support shows up on your credit, child support does not automatically show up on your credit. Let's pause right there. Child support does not automatically show up on your credit. So fellas, if you are on child support and you are afraid that you have bad credit because you haven't been making the payments on time, I want you to rest assured that child support does not automatically show up on your credit. So fellas, if you did not know that, I want you to give me 3 100s, okay? Give me 3 100s in the comments. Even if you're watching on the replay, I want you to participate with me as if you're watching me live. I want you to give me the 3 100s. All right, I want you to give me 3 100s if you did not know that, okay? Three 100s. I want you to give me 3 100s if you didn't know that. If you have a open bankruptcy, or if you have child support as a public record on your credit profile, those are the things that can stop you from getting some of these resources. But I'm going to show you how you can even get around that as well. Okay, so the resource I'm going to share with you guys, this is a free resource that I'm going to share with you guys at the end of this video on how you're able to legally repair your credit and have the best credit in 2020. Okay, so I'm using this as an opportunity to teach so you guys can understand. So whether you purchase a seasoned trade line, and or whether somebody adds you on a credit profile, you're now able to apply for lines of credit that are very similar, and you should expect to receive 50% of that balance. Now, that's how you're able to maximize that 80% just by adding those new lines of credit. Okay? Now, let's take a step back. Now, remember, that's how you're able to boost your scores. Now, we're talking about how to have the perfect credit score in 2020. Now, if you have, say you're at a 500 score, or you're at a 480 score, and you're able to purchase a seasoned trade line, or maybe your home girl or your homeboy adds you as a seasoned trade line, and you begin to get a new line of credit, your credit score is going to go up to 620 or 660. Now, let's talk about how to get to the 700s. The way that you're going to want to get to the 700s, let me take a step. I'm talking a whole bunch. Did I miss some of you guys? Are you guys with me? If you're with me, I want you to say with you. All right? If you're with me, I want you to say with you. I know I'm doing a whole bunch of teaching. If you're with me, I want you to say with you. If you're with me, I want you to say with you. Let me know. All right, because I know I don't want to miss a lot of you guys. And the cool thing about this is a a video. And so because it's a video, you can go back and watch and catch up on some things. You with me? You guys are with me. All right, with you. All right, awesome, good stuff. Now, remember, originally when I said never pay off collections, when you are wanting to build your credit, do not pay off collections first. The very first thing is to build up first. Build up your scores, build up your profile. You want to build up these items first. After you have built up your items, you have new lines of credit reporting, you have positive things reporting. Now let's talk about your payment history. Your payment history makes up the largest amount, 35%. So let's say if you have some old collections, or you have some closed accounts, what you want to do is you want to dispute and remove those old items off of your credit profile, all right? You want to remove all of those items off of your credit by doing an electronic dispute first, so that when you do your electronic dispute, you then will be able to boost your scores another 35%. So let's say, for instance, if you have, remember, we've done the 80%. We maxed out that first round of 80%. So now your score is in the 620, 650, 660. You want to get to that 700 mark. Now, all of the old items that are on your credit report, you want to dispute them. Now, this is very important. You can legally remove student loans. You can legally remove bankruptcies. You can legally remove tax liens. You can legally remove evictions. You can legally remove old credit cards, repossessions. You can legally remove all of these items on your credit report if you go about it the legal, proper way to remove these items off your credit report, okay? Now, the way that you're going to do this is by activating the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Practices Act, the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Collections Report. I'm sorry, FDCRA, which is the Fair Debt. This is the Fair. Excuse me. It's getting late, guys. It's been a long day, and I done had 3 consultations today. FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and then the FDCPA, which is the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. Okay. Now, I'm excited that this is free. All right. This is a free resource that I am excited to be partnering with, that is going to allow you guys to legally remove all items off your credit report, and they will legally add seasoned trade lines, legally add payment history to your credit profile. It is the Legal Credit Repair app, okay? It is a brand new app that's launching January 2020. And I'm excited to be partnering with them. They have a very handsome teacher that teaches on a lot of their free videos. There's a free version, there's a paid version, and then there is a professional version, okay? The free version are videos that shows you step by step on how you're able to acquire credit, how you're able to legally add items on your credit report. Under the paid section, there's a paid section that will show you how you're able to print out 609 letters, how you're able to freeze your third-party reporting agencies, and everything is done for you. It's an app that is at the touch of your fingers, okay? And then there is the professional version where you will have a legal credit specialist do it for you, all right? So it's a brand new app that is launching the top of January 2020, and it is free, okay? The app will be launching January 2020. It will allow you to have all the resources at the touch of a button to do all these things, to give you the resources to legally repair and restore your credit. It is a legal credit repair app, and I'm very excited to be partnering with them. If you want to be on the list to make sure that when the legal credit repair app comes out, that you will be able to access it, text the word funding 101 to 833-934-1328. Make sure that's the right number. I'm still getting used to that number. So text the word funding 101 to that number, so that when it does become available, you will be able to download the app and start immediately. So at the top of the year in January 2020, it will allow you to legally have everything at your fingertips so that it can repair your credit. This is going to take the place of Credit Karma, and it's going to take the place of Lexington Law. I'm really excited about them. I have vetted them. You guys know I plays no games when it comes to my reputation. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've been doing this for, like I said, 2 decades. And it took a long time for me to find a company to partner with. And I'm excited about the Legal Credit Repair app. They are partnering with me. They have hired me to do a lot of the teachings. So I teach this for free. And that's the reason why, like, Dean, you're a consultant. Why would you teach this for free? Because one, I got a company that's paying the bill for this. Okay, that's one thing. And then two, people that are in the Legal Credit Repair app, they're going to want to get funding. Guess who the primary resource is for the funding? If you did not know, it is going to be E.DeanCole Coaching. So I'm very excited to be partnering with them. The app will be launching at the top of January 2020. So make sure that you are on our VIP list, and make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, so that the next time or when the app launches or whenever I'm doing a teaching or training on it, you will be able to participate and have access to it. It is a free app. It's free 99. I want everyone to say free 99. At the free level, you will have access to a video library of teachings very similar to this that goes line upon line, precept upon precept on how to legally fix your credit, repair your credit, restore your credit with the touch of a button, with resources. Everything will be done for you. And then you will also be able to get advanced when it comes to funding. You'll be able to get resources for attorneys if you need help with credit repair and you want a legal credit expert. They will be available for you if you have issues with bankruptcies, if you have issues with child support. These things will be available for you. And at the free version, it is so many resources that are available for you. So I'm really excited about the Legal Credit Repair app. So make sure that you do 3 things. 1, text the word funding 101. Text that to 833-934-1328. So when that goes live, you will be notified, and all you have to do is download it. It will be available on Apple as well as available on Android, as well as make sure that you subscribe to me on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook and you have not yet subscribed to me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Hit the link in the bio to subscribe to me on YouTube and hit that notification bell so that you will not miss out on anything. You won't miss anything. And then lastly, make sure that you follow me on Instagram. I answer some DMs. I'm not gonna lie and say I answer all of them, because I'm a CEO in real life. I just don't play one on TV. I'm one in real life. Like I said, today I had 3 consultations, and it is 7 o'clock your time, and it's 8 o'clock my time, and I'm still teaching. So I don't always answer my DMs, but I do try to answer my DMs, and I make sure that I make things available for you. All right, guys. So it's very important for you to text the word funding 101. Thank you so much for that, Quinn. Text the word funding 101 to 833-934-1328. So the next time I'm live, you get access to free information. And when that app becomes live, you will be able to download it for free, and you will have access to a lot of resources that will be there to make sure you have the perfect credit score in 2020. Did you guys enjoy this teaching? Did you guys learn something new? If you learned something new, I want you to say, I learned. And I want you to share this on your Facebook. Share this on your Twitter. Share this with somebody who you know wants to repair and restore their credit. Okay, guys? Each one teach one. I want to make sure that my people are empowered. When the Lord calls me home, I want him to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. And partnering with the Legal Credit Repair app, I think, is a very good avenue to do so. I'm excited because 2020 is going to be a very big year. 2020, the Legal Credit Repair app comes out. 2020, I start my book tour. I have a book that's coming out that's called Black Owned. that talks and teaches on how to get funding for a Black-owned business. And like I mentioned, the first school that has confirmed the first lecture on the HBCU tour is Clark Atlanta. The second one is Howard University. So I'm excited. My goal is to have every quarter I'm going to be speaking at a different HBCU. Ideally, it'd be great if I could speak at 2 of them. Also, Georgia State reached out to me as well. Even though they're not an HBCU, Georgia State reached out to me as well to speak at one of their events coming in 2020. So I'm excited for 2020. A lot more travel for me and a lot more live lectures. All right, so if you guys have any questions, I'm going to answer 5 questions. Like I said, it's 8 o'clock my time, and I'm tired, and I want to answer some of your questions. So I'm going to answer 5 questions. Normally, I will open up the phone lines and just do a live Q&A, but I just want to answer some of your questions. I'm answering 5. If you do a super chat, they get priority. If you know how to light me up in orange at me, so I can answer your questions. So I know you guys were asking several questions earlier, but I was in teaching mode, I was in lecture mode, so I didn't see them. So let me go ahead and answer some of your questions. All right, thank you so very much for that. Bright Eyes say that you always share. I appreciate you for that, Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes, the next time I'm live and I see you live, I'll make you a moderator. I appreciate that, Bright Eyes. All right, so Quinn Drake says, Dean, do you need some help with HBCU tour? Absolutely, Quinn Drake. Quinn Drake, message me on, matter of fact, email support at E.DeanCole Coaching, and my assistant Io manages that. She's responsible for all of that. So yes, Quinn, message Io, send an email to support at EDeanColeCoaching.com, and also message me on Instagram. Once again, my Instagram is at E.DeanCole. So Quinn, as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna be looking. Don't be playing no games now, Quinn. I get a lot of DMs, okay? You see how many people watching live. So message me right now, say, hey, this is Quinn. I asked if you needed help for your HBCU tour, so we can connect there. So do 2 things. 1, message me on Instagram, Quinn, and also email support at E.DeanCole Coaching. And Io, my assistant, she will be in contact with you as well. So that way we both can be in contact with you. All right. So AJ says, do you teach how to get money off of what? Do I teach how to get money off of vibrations? No, I don't. I don't teach on how to get money off of vibrations. I do believe in the law of manifestation. I am a manifestation of the law of manifestation, but I don't teach specifically on how to do that. I mean, once you are, my mentee and you're a client of mine, I do believe in a lot of spiritual principles, and it comes out in everything that I teach. But specifically teaching on the law of vibrations, I don't do that. But I do believe in the law of manifestation. I do believe in the law of affirmations. Like if you follow me on Instagram, every single day I drop a different affirmation, and I use the hashtag PMA. PMA stands for positive mental attitude. And I use the word daily affirmations, and yes, so I definitely do. All right, so Finding Me says, how do I handle delinquent student loans, and what about the Ultra FICO score coming? So the Ultra FICO score is an adaptation of the FICO 8 and the FICO 9. What I believe in that Finding Me is to build up your credit profile so you don't have to worry about the Ultra FICO. So by you going through the automatic underwriting engines and building up your credit profile, you don't have to worry about the Ultra FICO. That is mainly for manual underwriting. So my goal is to teach you to the point to where you don't have to worry about the Ultra FICO, because you're going to go through automatic underwriting and be approved because you meet the criteria. And the issues that you're having with your student loans, there are 2 ways that you're able to do. There was a company that allowed you to remove your student loans, but unfortunately, President Trump got rid of that. President Obama did have a very good program that allowed you to remove your student loans. The best thing that I would suggest that you do if you're having issues with your student loans is to consolidate them. Now, one thing that I am aware of is that the Legal Credit Repair app does have resources for you, and there are companies that are vetted that will allow you to reconsolidate your student loans to have on-time payments. If you're dealing with a lot of student loan debt, your credit restoration is going to take 12 to 24 months. I'm not going to lie to you, make it sound fly to you. If you are dealing with student loan issues, it's going to take you 12 to 24 months for your, oh man, that didn't look good. It's going to take you 12 to 24 months for your student loan situation to be rectified, so that you can make your on-time payments with your student loans. Now, I'm still in the process of trying to find a company that can remove those. Now, if they're private student loans, if they're student loans like Everest or Phoenix, or if they're from a private institution like ITT Tech or a technical college, I can show you how you can legally remove those instantly. The Legal Credit Repair app shows you how to do that. But if it's a public student loan where it's backed by the government, it's going to take you 12 to 24 months. Just be prepared. I want your expectations to be there. But think about it. The year passed just that quick. It's already December. So don't be disheartened and don't be discouraged. If you get down and stay focused, before you know it, you're going to be at a place where your credit is going to be great, your student loan payments will be good, and you just have to make sure that you have 12 to 24 on time. The reason why I say 12 to 24 months is because not being able to see exactly what's on your credit to be able to know how it's going to affect and how bad it's there. But most of the time, 12 months after you consolidate and you do a lot of other things by removing all the old items off your credit report, your score should be around the 620, 680 mark. All right, so that's one question. Second question is, all right, Big Griff, I'm tripping. Big Griff, I'm tired, guys. Big Griff, my LLC, Big Griff says, my LLC is 2.5 years old. However, I made some mishaps. Which one of your courses do you recommend I enroll in? Do I have it up? Let me see if I have it up. If you already have a LLC, then I suggest that you enroll in the startup coaching. Oh, it didn't do it right. Let's see. Let's fix this. Boom. I suggest that you enroll in the startup coaching. So the startup coaching allows you to go step by step through the process of establishing your business credit that's separate from your personal credit. And we also give you a free bonus course, which is the 720 FICO coaching, that allows you to do so. If you want to enroll in the startup coaching, that will be the best resource for you. The startup coaching will walk you step by step through the process of restructuring your LLC, so that you're able to build up your profile. God almighty, I'm messing all the way up, guys. I've been so smooth all night. Let me hurry up and finish. I'm getting sloppy. All right, that's 2 questions. Third question says, so Bright Eye says, should I get my credit cards? My scores are at 700, 695 on CK. If so, which? I'm not sure what you mean by that. So should I get any credit cards? My credit scores are 700 and 695, I guess, on Credit Karma. Okay, there we go. So if your credit score is 700 and 695 and you're wanting to get a credit card, Bright Eyes, my question to you is, how many credit cards do you have right now? Ideally, you want to have a total of 3. So if you already have 3 credit cards, then I wouldn't suggest that you get 3 credit cards. I would suggest that you either purchase a home or get a new car so that your credit profile can go higher. It depends on what your goals are. But with a score of 700 and 695, it sounds like you might not have a mortgage yet. The algorithm that makes up your credit score is do you have a mortgage? Let me know, Bright Eyes. So Bright Eyes, do you have a car right now? Do you have a mortgage, or do you have an auto loan? So answer that question. 1, do you have an auto loan? Do you have a mortgage? And how many credit cards you have right now? And I do a follow-up to that. And I'm going to answer one more question. All right. Let's see. Any other questions? All right. Bright Eye says, I've increased my income. I need to get out of predatory auto financing of a 22.9% daily interest. Yes. So that means that you need to refinance your auto loan. You're able to refinance your auto loan. So by you having that $706.95, I strongly suggest that you refinance your auto loan. If you've had your auto loan for more than 12 months, you're able to refinance it. If you've increased your income, refinance it. The best place to refinance it is through a credit union. And if you message me, Bright Eyes, I will show you how you're able to get with a credit union that can get you a very low rate at that number, okay? So make sure that you're able to message me on Instagram, and I will make sure that you have that resource, Bright Eyes, so that you're able to get with a credit union and you can refinance your auto loan. With those scores, and if you have 12 months of on-time, never missed payments, I can connect you with a resource that will allow you to refinance for a fraction of the price. Hello from Mississippi. Hey, how are you doing, Pistol? How are you doing? Are you just plugged in? Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, Pistol. All right, so Life Media Pro says, if I get a car, what should my starting price be? That's a very good question. So ideally, you want your car, the car that you want, your monthly payment should not be any more than 25 to 30% of your income. You don't want your car note to be more than 25 to 30% of your income. If you're asking for a dollar amount, it depends on what your income is. So I would need to know what your income is, Life Media Pro, to give you a more detailed and specific answer. The best thing I would suggest, Life Media Pro, is to text the word funding 101 to 833-934-1328. Next Monday when I go live, I'm gonna open up the phone lines. The entire show is gonna be nothing but a live call-in show. Make sure you call in. That way we can have a conversation and I can give you a more detailed, accurate answer. Guys, I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. I appreciate you guys' help. It's late. Remember to look out for the Legal Credit Repair app. I'm really excited about that. It's coming at the top of the year. Make sure that you subscribe to me on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to me on Instagram, and text funding 101 to that number so that you will not miss out. Listen, the only person stopping you from being successful is you. If you don't know it, you can learn it. If you don't yet have a coach or mentor, I will be your coach and your mentor. If you don't have the character, you can develop it. Go get them. Success is waiting for you.
Like Jesus.